No 80s throwback today, just me. So instead of playing something that we were going to play together like Nia or Sims 4, which should be coming soon still, I thought I'd try out DmC Devil May Cry. I said try out, I've beaten it a couple of times, I really like it. It's not a good game. Well, no, that's not true, it is a good game. But it's not good compared to other Devil May Cries. That's all. But on its own, it's a decent game. Ninja Theory, a good company, good game, good fun. So I thought I'd try it. But I'm just going to leave it on here, just while I quickly go top up my drink. See you in a moment. I have returned. Taking a drink. Let's get on it. I'm going to start from scratch. Full game, beginning to end. No, didn't mean that. Fuck. No extras. Fuck. Controls. I'll leave. Toggle input. Stinger. Towards weapon tools. Towards. You know what? Yeah, I'll show tutorials just so if you haven't played this game before, you can have a look at it. We'll leave them all there. Let's go. That's hardcore mod. I forgot they added all those in. Let's go with classic Dante. We'll go Devil Hunter. Yes, I just said that. I just did that setting. Now, watch the opening cutscene as I go. DmC Devil May Cry is the reboot of the Devil May Cry series. Made by Capcom. They loaned it out to Ninja Theory because they believed the series was waning in popularity and needed to get a boost back. Which is weird because Devil May Cry 4, which came out right beforehand, was actually the best selling of all the Devil May Cry games.
You know the consequences.
Oh, subtitles, fuck off.
No, this is not a veiled threat.
Sure I had subtitles on.
This is a direct one. Should you fail to comply,
I can only skip.
The collapse of the economy will be on your head.
Big angry boss man
make
owns
sure that
everything.
you are stripped of
He's
power,
money and
shame, and hate.
Money.
Is that clear enough for you?
That's Mundus, by the way, for those who didn't know.
Friday it is then.
Yeah, they loaned it out to Ninja Theory.
You have a good night,
to reboot the Devil May Cry series from a Western point of view, given that the old one was a bit too kooky and Japanese, they thought, for most people.
Did you get it, my darling?
Over a trillion.
It sold far worse than they expected it to.
I will control
and for a long time,
through death.
Many people believe that meant Devil May Cry's franchise was dead.
The world is at last your bitch. What's the matter?
The world is at last your bitch.
What? What's the matter?
Things like that we're going to get into, right?
A loose end.
Because they changed the tone
what?
as much
The son of a traitor,
as
Sparta.
Capcom told them to.
Dante.
Him.
It went from kind of What's
still out
the
there.
used for original
The
game?
hunters
Crazy
will find
Wahoo
him.
Pizza Man.
They found
Two.
Sparta and his whore. When you
Grungy
do,
meth addict.
I will rip open his chest with my bare hands and feast on his beating heart.
One Track Mind is Mondus with that. Capcom obviously still like it. Mechanically, this game is a lot less complex than the original trilogy. Original trilogy? Quadrilogy. But it's quintilogy now, I guess we call it. Or if you include it, sextilogy. Which is much more appropriate for this scene. Look. Look at these PG strippers. Well, not PG, I mean American PG. Look at these 12A strippers. Robin Wright. Red Stairs.
Nothing left.
Alcohol. Demons. Mirror. Ninja Theory. It's mechanically less interesting, less diverse than the other ones. It's a lot fewer moves, at least than in the later Devil May Cry. In Devil May Cry 3, obviously they introduced the style switching mode, that doesn't exist here. You just have weapon and style switching on the same mode. And it's not switching permanently, it's a hold now. I'll do anything. Triggers, then switch you to your angel weapon for the arrow and demon weapon for the arrow. Combi Christ, you didn't use it. It sells you everything, like 2012 and the others. What do you get? They're going to promote it first, well. Untorn. That's actually one of the really cool things that they changed the writing on the ball and stuff. Yeah, 12A orgy. Devil May Cry. The announcer is a thing that was made fun of a lot. It's one of my favourite things, and I think it's hilarious. Not supposed to be, which is why it's made fun of, but it is hilarious. Yeah, they completely went a different art direction. A different direction with the art, should I say. The gameplay was the same thing, just toned down, I guess, a little bit. Kyle Ryder saved the banking system. What a nice man. A terrorist with a coat and noticeably no fedora anymore. Oh, sorry, Trilby.
The masked lunatic you saw there
I'll elaborate on
claims to
that later.
represent an
So.
organization called the Order. Now, this group has claimed responsibility for several serious attacks in recent weeks.
We'll get into it, but one of the things that's so about this is it's so heavy-handed. By comparison, look at that big angel thing in his background. Cool symbol. That scratches have gone.
Illegally shoot the son of a bitch.
And he's drinking demon beer.
Dante, get out of there! You're in danger!
Subtitles. I'll put them on in a second. He's naked, and she's seen him.
Who are you? What do you want?
You were careless. You left a trail. Now he's on to you.
What are you talking about? Who's on to me?
The hunter demon. He's here. He's dragging you into limbo.
Demon scum.
It's too late. You're gonna have to fight your way out.
Shit. Back in limbo.
For all I say they changed a lot about this game, they did
Bad day
keep
for a
some
hangover.
on. The combos are still fun. I think it's still very entertaining game.
Get your filthy fucking claw off my trailer.
There are a couple of things that this is a Dante. This is a very, very difficult game. Some people like it. I understand.
Missed.
this. Less so stinky. I mean, look, a lot of... There is a huge overlap between... there's a huge overlap between the... I'm just enjoying the look of classic Dante. Just clearly not the right boring game. Yeah, there's a very clear overlap between Greco-Roman and our current, from my point of view, mythology, Christianity, Judaism, etc. The reason is that there was direct effect by Christianity of Greco-Roman and mythology. Funnily enough, related to Dante and Virgil on this.
This way!
Who said that?
A great amount of Christian theology, in terms of the afterlife, was stolen directly from, well, it's derived directly from Dante's The Divine Comedy. Dante Alighieri, Italian philosopher, an author, poet, I guess you'd say. He wrote a story of...
Wait, guns?
Kind of himself, but a character returning from the Crusades named Dante, who climbs up on the fire to reach his home. And then what he do is the afterlife of the actual paradise. Beginning with first book, Inferno, hence the video game you're probably around Dante's Inferno. Then followed by Purgatorio and Atlantic Paradisia, meaning hell, limbo / purgatory, essentially heaven.
Ebony, ivory,
He looks so fucking I've never seen this dog doing that. Anyway. Yeah, Dante Alighieri wrote that story in which Dante, the character, is guided by the Roman poet
target
Virgil.
practice. Right
The
on
reason
cue.
for that is that the Roman poet Virgil wrote a story by the name of the Advent, which is kind of Roman origin story. During a particular point in this story, the main character, has to go into the afterlife with the it's not nice to explore the consequences of what would happen. I'm trying to use control, but haven't unlocked it yet. Yeah, he has to go into the future to see conflicts in the future. It's a kind of a propaganda piece by Virgil in favour of the current government at the time, just to see it. But it expounds a lot on Roman mythology surrounding the afterlife, the underworld, and what lay there. Dante, having
Don't
discovered
shoot.
this,
My name is Kat, I'm not a demon. I'm still in the real world, you're in limbo.
How come I can see you clearly?
I'm a medium, a psychic.
Took
I can phase into limbo and
amounts of
communicate with you.
inspiration from this in
I
the
can
writing
see
of
you,
the Divine
talk
Comedy.
to you, but I'm not actually in limbo with you.
It was that in turn then, as I said, inspired most Western
die.
or Christian,
I'm
Judeo-Christian
risking my life
mythology.
here for you. I want to help.
And so there is a huge overlap between the two for that reason, that is directly derived
I don't need your help.
Greco-Roman.
The hunter has dragged you into limbo.
The enemies in this
can get you
and
out.
in the
I've
original
been down here
book
before. I know how to
fight
get out.
Cerberus
Whatever shit
and
sucking demon dragged you in.
several other
Want to fight the hunter.
centaurs.
He's not
down
your
in
regular
DmC
demon.
called
Follow me,
Cerberus in DmC.
now.
A lot of enemies that are very clearly Greek monsters. This one takes it in a slightly different direction. Not a hugely different direction, but all of the names of the enemies are Greek. They're Greek monsters, they're Greek creatures. Which I quite like, actually. Given that it's very clearly Orthodox Christian, by Orthodox I don't mean Orthodox, regular, mainstream, commonly understood Christian, that then they go very explicitly Greco-Roman for the enemies, I think it's kind of good. Can't open that yet. I don't know how to feel about that trick.
Where'd she go?
Not the enemies, the doors like that I can see I need an item to open that I haven't got yet. So, I don't know how I feel. I like it in that it's replayability. It means that once you get to a certain point in the game when you've unlocked all your abilities, you then have to go back to unlock all the new areas. But at the same time, just let me do it. Just let me play it. Just let me play the game as I'm playing the game. And it's not replayability, it's just forcing me to do the same mission again. It's closer to asset reuse than it is spend. Sometimes it's kind of subtle, but very rarely. 4 floors of fun. I like to open a secret door. But yeah, and the other thing is that this game takes the worst aspect of Devil May Cry 4, which is that the score you get at the end of the mission is partly based on your level of completion. So think of how many of these unlockables things that you discover. Some of them I physically cannot discover because I don't have the things that I need to access. Another thing this game doesn't have that it can use. Move attack. So I dodge. If I'm in the middle of an attack, I cannot dodge out. It's very awesome. I much prefer that combo. It's the one of the Greek probably doesn't mean a lot to a lot of people, but I wrote my my undergraduate degree on the work of Virgil and other Roman poets at the time. So little touches like that, I appreciate. Then I can double jump. Who knew? Obviously this game isn't as popular, isn't as well liked or well regarded as it should be, because it isn't as good. But it does have a somewhat dedicated fan base, who, when Devil May Cry 5, probably the best game in the genre, let alone the series, was announced, there was a surprising amount of people responding with, why not DmC 2? I don't mind that. This game is good. We'll start with that. The game is good. It's just not good for Devil May Cry. And it didn't sell itself particularly well to people who like Devil May Cry, which is strange because you'd think they'd be the main audience. You got an awful lot of. Oh yeah, first thing you always buy, Stinger. Stinger is really good. And I got a trophy, don't know if you can see that, but I can. Always buy Stinger. Health crosses and power, give me more power. I wonder if that's a reference to something. Just a bit more important. The narrative and the characterization of Virgil and one of the big sticking points. That you don't even have to be an angry or government, yeah, you can be annoyed that they're not the same. I do put the stuff out there. They don't seem to be out. The characterization of Dante and Virgil is one of the big sticking points with this game. Not just from Devil May Cry 5, so like the original time. Both of them has very, very serious character flaws. Is that DmC 1 or DmC 2? Yes, I'm not helping you at I actually like his look better than the prop with it. I'll try a different outfit.
Get down here and fight!
What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the characterization of Dante and Virgil. Dante is...
Get lost!
Which reminds me, speaking of stupid, subtitles.
Oh shit! Dante seems really stupid. Virgil is self-contradictory. We did a podcast a little while ago talking about what makes a good story, what makes good writing. This does a lot of the bad things. Characters who behave. Hey, get back here!
Who kind of lie to you. Not characters who lie, but writers who lie to you. Or don't lie to you, but the characters just... they act as if it was a lie. Which we'll get to in the end again. And I say that a lot. Enemies only take damage in which you have challenge modes, which is always fun. I would have liked a combat adjudicator or something similar to help teach you how to play the game better. Or at least give me opportunity to practice playing the game. Other than the game. But, you know, this is not teaching me a lot about the combat, nor is it particularly testing my ability. It tests my ability to use the two controls it has thus given me. But hey, whatever. I don't mind them. You get the items, it's fun. Yeah, and Virgil breaks his character a lot of ways. Dante is just annoying. I mean, it's fine to he's consistent, but he's consistently bad as a character in this. The original Dante was goofy and over the top, but he was somewhat intelligent. Can't go in there. He at least understood simple sentences. If you explain something to Dante, he would understand it to a strong degree, to the degree which you explained it. This Dante, he looks very confused by everything that happens all the time. He never seems to be able to think about what's happening around him, or he's a very kind of parody of an American action hero.
Excellent. Good.
Just a meathead who runs around killing things, beating things cockily, gloating about it,
not good.
Without ever really understanding.
Yeah, whatever.
A parody of both the American hero and the cocky teenager. And he ends up being kind of annoying. I would like to fail. Don't say jump higher. Because jump higher. This cutscene now makes 0 sense given the kind of costume I'm playing with.
Not in a million years.
It's one that I kind of get why people interpreted it the way they did. Because when a lot of people saw that, they were kind of annoyed that it was kind of poking fun at the old
There's a rip up ahead!
A what?
We'll take you back to the real world. We'll come back for the hunter.
I actually enjoyed that scene a lot when I first saw it. I thought it was a nice little, hey, look at the old game thing. But I think the way the game was marketed made it put people off before they'd even played it. I'm going to go Trillion Stamp. Sorry, Trillion Stamp. And so when they saw that scene, it was because a lot of the marketing was aggressively against original fantasy. Probably started when the game was first shown off, and Dante looked like a meth addict, even more so than he ended up looking. And people were complaining, saying he didn't look the same, he didn't have the same colour scheme, he didn't have the same like movement abilities, he didn't have the same weapon. And there was a stupid kind of. It wasn't probably a joke because it's like there was a hint of truth. It's kind of problematic with the rest of the complaints. But where it said, "Oh, it doesn't even have one thing," which obviously is like.
Okay, then.
I know I'm being a
Dante,
but I have some genuine complaints. I know I sound like one. But I'm entitled to feel that way. That's the point. That argument.
It's working.
Makes those arguments.
You can fight him now.
Sometimes you know what you're saying is not necessarily fair, and you just
Hunters are brutal fighters.
So am I.
And then you're not getting it.
Dante, can you still hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Attack its face!
That's it.
Oh, you feel it now, don't ya?
And so when people saw that scene, they just kind of thought, the joke itself, that he pulls out the wig. It makes no sense now that because the character with the wig. Yeah, they didn't have to. I also don't know if I have anything about the roll of dodging.
Does it hurt?
One of the things there's lots of damage. Lots.
Get back down here!
Now use your gun! Shoot him down!
That's it! It's working!
Right. But I like the joke, and
Game over.
I felt there were times when they maybe deliberately they went over. In the response to that, he doesn't even have white hair comment. There were times in the marketing when people were complaining about the game.
I don't know my mother, but if you're calling me a son of a bitch,
So
you
they
wouldn't be the
literally
first.
said, you're just whiny fans angry that he doesn't have white hair. That's not a good cut. I wish they changed the. I know it's this like CG shit, so you can't. But I wish they put the cutscenes in the
My mother.
costumes as well.
I barely remember her.
And so there was kind of a weird animosity between the core audience for this game and the game itself before it was even in the demo stage. That it seems to become more common since as well. I don't remember. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it's just my perception because I wasn't really following it when I was younger. This came out around my teen. I was in my teens when this came out. Before then, I had comparatively little experience with video games and marketing.
Are you okay,
But it
Dante?
seems like that aggressive,
How do you know my name?
haha,
My
the
boss
thing
wants
you
you.
like is
He
ours and
wants to
we're
meet.
ruining it. And
Please?
we're glad that we're ruining
I
it.
helped you back
Type
there.
approach to marketing seems more
I
common
didn't
now
ask for your help.
than it used to be, particularly in comics and sci-fi games. It seems to be fading out because, like this game showed, if you piss off your core audiences in a video game, you could.
We know
you
all
lose your
about
money.
you, Dante.
just don't sell games anymore.
I'm with an organization called The Order. Heard of it?
Something to do with that masked freak on the net.
That's my boss.
But back then it was
Wonderful.
weird
Can't
that
wait.
a company would do that they would actively go out and say this game we're making the fifth effectively Devil May Cry game. People who like the first four are losers. Why would
Further
they
terrorist attacks
why
could take
would
place
we want to
anywhere,
adhere to that?
anytime,
Like,
and
'cause
when
you're
you
making
least
the fifth
expect it.
one.
We have your scent, son of Sparta.
It's
Now
not
it's just
necessarily
a matter
even
of
a bad direction to go in the way they did the game. I think changing it up was fine. Capcom actively not encouraged them to, forced them to, in a lot of ways. They told them make this Dante as different as they can from the original. See, how was I supposed to get? Like, admittedly, a style time I could have done, but I don't have enough moves to get higher style. That's why I was talking about the collectibles thing. Like, I couldn't have got a triple S in that. I don't have the moves or the weapons to do it. Go with that. I don't have enough doing other things, I don't think. I'm back to the main menu. Fuck. Oh. I'm actually going to change the game audio down if I can. This is a little bit loud on mine. I don't want to turn the TV down much more. Because I can hear the other shit. I'm going to put the... I'm putting about half. That should be fine. My friends aren't on this league. But yeah, the style they actually went with it. They went kind of rebellious teen, fight the man, fight the whoever society is, fight the media, fight the banks or whatever. And this was in the middle of Occupy Wall Street and shit as well. This is when this was hot topics with people in anonymous masks running around all over the place.
Welcome to the Order.
Not what I was expecting.
That's the idea.
And itself is fine. It's very, very
Demons
Western
are amongst us,
compared to
Dante.
Japan.
They are
Japan's
enslaving
kind of
mankind.
cowboy
The world
versus
is
samurai aesthetic.
brainwashed and helpless.
But they go with an Italian version of this. They go with like punk and then what would you call it?
We're a small handful of freedom
No,
fighters.
it's
We
not
are the last
nerdy.
and only line
Kind
of
of a
defense.
posh boy,
Thanks.
kind
Yeah,
of public
that's-
school.
We don't leave things to chance. We've accumulated vast
Well, that's
intelligence
again
on the
fine.
demons and
I'm
their
happy with it.
collaborators.
It's
World leaders,
different.
bankers,
It's not the same,
pop stars.
but it's not necessarily worse.
We can hit them where it hurts.
But the problem with that kind of defense of you just mad that he's got white hair, you're just mad that we've put someone you didn't like as the lead, someone we've just rewritten the lines so it's more modern or whatever excuse they use, the problem is that it
Dante,
either clouds their ability
really is you?
or is used as a deliberate obfuscation from
You don't remember
legitimate complaints
No.
with the game, of which there are many. Characters,
How much of your childhood do you remember?
the character development,
Not much.
the
I
story
metagized when I
development,
was 7. Why by memory? Why?
the watered down,
They told me I had a car
Combat,
accident that
the-
resulted in total amnesia.
frankly
Age.
boring enemies,
7.
slightly repetitive levels.
Your point?
Slightly repetitive.
tried to
I think
human
there's some of them that look amazing, and in
You
fact,
are not
generally
human,
the art
Dante.
looks amazing.
All war is fought with deception.
But there's a
You've
problem
been deceived.
when your game is more fun to
Your
look
past
at
has
than
been
it is
hidden
to
from you
play.
for a reason.
Rewind a bit. Who are you again?
My name is Virgil. I established the Order to help find a way to fight the demons.
Besides swords and bullets, you mean?
Such weapons can win battles, but not the war. We use force, yes, but we also use intelligence, politics, propaganda.
You really believe you can make it then?
Make a dent. With the two of us working together,
Is there a way I can
believe
change
that we
Virgil's
can
costume?
defeat them.
Because I want to
So
see
that's what
classic
this is
Virgil
about.
in this
You
thing.
need me to fight the demons, help you save the world.
What else were you planning on doing with your life?
You guys do seem really nice, but I'm more of a loner type. Trust issues, work alone, that kind of thing.
Dante, I don't think you understand what is at stake.
If you want to leave, turn your back on me, I'm powerless to stop you.
I'm powerless to stop
But
you.
you'll be making a grave
Remember that.
mistake. Not just for yourself, but for mankind.
For
Not
mankind.
just
Yes.
I won't try to
Makes
stop
you
you.
think I give a shit.
I am powerless to stop you.
Please give me a chance to show you
Show me what?
who you really are.
Supposedly he had a lot more backstory than is evaluated on this as well. He had a whole thing where he was, when he was young, he went to a bunch of youth detention centres. He got involved with gangs and drugs. He was on all kinds of shit off his head, off every possible stimulant and chemical substance you could hope to see. And for a long time, he was convinced, or others had convinced him, that he was crazy and that he was seeing the demons
was
and
your
things
home.
because he was on drugs and going crazy.
I don't remember.
When in fact, obviously, he was really
You will.
seeing them and they really were there.
Cat.
And he
open the
eventually
gateway.
realised that. There's a point as well when you're fighting Bob Barbas, who's the big news anchor, that not Bill O'Reilly.
What are you doing?
It evaluates a little bit
Our
on some of
world
that
and limbo
backstory
are
that we
very
never saw.
closely superpositioned. They collide
As in Bob
places
Barbas's
causing what
demon
we
propaganda
call
version of
rifts.
it.
It's here in the rifts that we can create gateways to.
And it's a
from
shame
limbo.
because we don't really get to see much of it.
Smell too good. What's in the can?
A compound I created based on an old Wiccan recipe: sea salt, shark oil,
And of course,
iron
as a-
shavings, desiccated squirrel semen, wolf hair.
Good stuff.
Oh, that's right. She became Squirrel Jizz Girl.
The house
Because of
is
that.
secrets.
The squirrel
I
scene.
found mine. Now it's your turn.
How'll I get back?
We'll take care of that. Just be careful. You can get rough in there.
I don't like it rough.
Is this really going to work? He doesn't seem to care.
He's raw. Just like you were when I first found you.
I don't like this Virgil either. He gives off the worst kind of cocky. Original Virgil's cocky too. He's just like he's kind of like Dante, but more a little bit more business-like than Dante. He's dry in his humour, but he's still just as cocky. He's still as arrogant. He's still a dick. In this, it seems like Virgil's cocky because he's certain that he's going to win, but has no way to back it up. Kind of Shinji from Fate's Day Night type, who's like the most caricature of an unlikable
So this was my home.
that you could ever see.
Well,
Deliberately
Show me
so,
your
because
secrets.
all he does in the stories is temporarily obstruct the heroes and then get brutally and horrifically murdered. In this, it feels like you're meant to see Virgil as exactly as he portrays himself, that he's constantly in control, that he's got a plan for everything, that it's all going to work out for him because he knows what he's doing, but he doesn't look that way at all. It's very transparent that Virgil, things are not going to work out the way he wants them to, and that he's kind of, that everything he says is a bluff. And he seems to be the only person who's not aware that he's bluffing. That it's like he's putting on, he looks like he's putting on a big cocky act of, I can beat anyone, I can kill anything, don't mess with me. And then someone goes, well actually I'll take you up on that. And everyone expects him to go, oh, you called your bluff, but then Virgil steps forward, like, okay then, let's go. And everyone's like, what? And then Virgil would be shocked when he lost. And everyone else would be like, why did you even, like, weren't you, didn't, what? That's the impression I get from Virgil. Dante is a meathead. He's consistently, at least, stupid. It's also very unclear at any point what any of Dante's motivation for anything that he does actually is in this game. There's times when he, like this scene, obviously we've come back to this mansion to learn about our past and our childhood, which is fair enough. He clearly has, oh that's the thing, he has amnesia.
I remember this place.
I can't remember what they said, he got meningitis, I think it was. They said he had meningitis and lost his memory, and that was his backstory up to this point. So yeah, learning about your past, fine. Every video game has this, you know, something happened to me, I forgot what it was, I need to learn my past, relearn my skills, etc. So many action games especially have it. It's fine
Who the hell are you?
as a mechanic, but he learns everything he needs to learn in like the first two chapters. And then what's he doing at next? We're told Mundus is evil, and spoiler, killed his mother.
Great.
And his father, maybe. Actually, no, he didn't kill his father. His father suffered a fate worse than death. A death knight. How will I ever defeat such thing?
You're up next.
Oh yeah, what I said about the cool Greek names, that is not one of them.
Tough guy.
Action jump.
What are you trying to show me?
Okay, the audio is kind of annoying me. Let's try from there. Right. Yeah, for all I said, cool Greek names, cool Greek monster aesthetic. Generic demon with sword and shield called Death Knight was the next one, so fuck me, I guess. But Stygian and Bathos apply to that. There's also a really cool enemy you meet right near the end of the game, probably the only interesting enemy in the whole game, called the Drekovac, which I haven't heard of, I don't know what it means, I don't know what it is. I assume it's based on something, or it's a... I don't know, maybe it was meant to be something.
Not so tough now.
Sorry if I reuse that combo a lot, it's my favourite. There you are. Brutal. Yeah, not as complicated as it used to be, but still fun. Still enjoyable.
Whoa!
Anyway, yeah, the only one interesting in the game was the Drekavac. That I imagine it. I don't know why I imagine this, but it kind of reminds me of like their version of Nello Angelo. That it kind of looks like it was supposed to be a character that was made a demon, or that, you know, maybe a character with some relevance at some point in the story who was then being made to fight for Mundus, because it's the only one with a really cool name. It's the only one that looks unique and has a unique combat style. Everything else is just bigger or smaller version of basic predictable enemy type. And I don't know what it's from. Maybe if I knew what a Drekavac was, if it is a thing, then maybe I'd know more. Yeah, Virgil looks like a pretty goober. Dante is just an idiot. Sorry, I keep going back to trillion stabs. I really love it. I love it in DmC as normal DmC with a million stabs. I like trillion stabs even better. Stupid kid versions of them as well.
Dante.
But yeah, Dante gets to about this point.
Did I hear that right?
After this mission, he's learned what happened to his mother and his father, what happened to him and his brother as children. Has found the main villain, and I mean, if that was just if it was a pure raging against everything, just killing everyone, not even caring what the cost was or what it did to the world, then fine. But he goes on and on about kind of moralistic principles, which again, a moral hero isn't exactly rare. You mostly want to feel like you're the good guy in your own game, but it doesn't make sense that Dante would feel like that. He's never had any kind of inclination to behave ethically up to this point. So is he going after Mundus for revenge at some point then? Is he doing it to save the world? Is he doing it... Also, to save the world wouldn't make sense because it's never actually... I mean, maybe he knows because he lives in it, but it's never actually explained to us what the state of the entire rest of the world, other than this city, actually is. So it's not clear how much danger the rest of the world is actually in. That was pretty good. I'm happy with that one. It's easier this game than the other games as well. It's easier at least to feel competent. You can see me getting to S and double S really easily with half, not even like a fraction of my total moveset. It's weird. Oh, I was going to change costumes. Fuck. I'll do it at the end of this one. Anyway,
What else were you planning on doing with your...
it's not clear what his motivations are. So I guess he's inconsistent, but he's not breaking his own rules because he never sets them in the first place, which isn't quite as bad, I guess. Because if you set a rule of I'm doing this for revenge, you can have as this kind of... If you set him up as this character that has no interest in anything, he's never known anything like a happiness or a happy life since his parents were murdered. He's just gone from miserable state to miserable state to miserable state. And then he discovers it was Mundus who put him here.
Where am I?
And what was actually happening. And then either
Am I dreaming?
goes on a kind of crazy self-destructive tirade against Mundus, or decides that defeating Mundus and saving humanity can be his purpose and his reason for living. And if you stick to one, either is fine, as long as you don't jump from one to the other at a certain point for no reason. You can have it so that he starts with the quest for revenge, and then starts to find that he actually has a conscience, and over the time starts to care and show more compassion towards everything. That's fine, to the point where at the end he's actually fighting out of some kind of sense of moral obligation. But this game just kind of does neither. It has the start where he doesn't know, where he's not happy. It discovers it's Mundus who calls that. And then he just says, right, so we've got to get Mundus. And yeah, it's a subtle thing to... I'm not expecting a big cutscene which says, because I want to kill him, my only motivation is revenge, blah, blah, blah.
Get over here!
But there are certain points where there are points in the game when Dante doesn't seem to know or care particularly why he's fighting. There are times when he objects to things that Virgil's doing for seemingly no reason. It's not clear why he's... Because when Virgil first tells him about Mundus, the Demon King,
what now?
As we just saw, that he controls everything, and Dante's response is, why should I give a shit? So clearly, okay, the world is being trapped, they're being exploited, they're being killed and used as kind of cattle, as a food source, if you like, for Mundus and his power. And Dante doesn't care at all. You then show him it was Mundus who killed your family and took your happiness away, so then you care. So then it becomes a personal thing with Mundus, you just hate him. But later on, when Virgil himself, the one who's talking about saving the world, suggests sacrificing humans to that end of defeating Mundus, Dante is objecting to him. So what do you want out of this? Do you care? Because you didn't care when Mundus was killing people, and you didn't care that Mundus was doing any of it, but then you care that Virgil's killing people in order to defeat Mundus. You don't care when Mundus does it for no reason, but you care when Virgil does it for something that you objectively want as well. If you decide from the beginning it's a moral thing to stop Mundus, then that makes sense. If you decide it's a revenge thing, it can, but only kind of. Defeat on it. No need for style here. That's it. Still going to try and have fun with it. Fine. Yeah, so Dante... But Dante doesn't switch from one to the other. It just never really tells us why he's doing it. It never makes it clear why he's doing it, and seemingly the reason for that is so that he can be either of them when the script seems to require it. Which you don't want, obviously. You'd rather have consistent characters who stick by their guns even when it's wrong, or who can be shown to change through some meaningful process. And Dante isn't, and Virgil certainly isn't. Cat is... kind of a nothing.
What the hell happened here?
We've got to get out. Now!
I've heard people say before that I can't find any verification of this. It's just people I've heard online, but who apparently, when the game was coming out and they were talking to one of the developers in an interview about Kat as a character, they were going on and on about how great a character she is because she's a really strong, independent female, like same bullshit they always give. But specifically they said, unlike the old games, she's not just a prostitute with guns. Referring to Trish and Lady, who are obviously so independent, powerful characters, who of course need rescuing at times, because they're fighting things that are actually threatening. But yeah, that looks pretty stylish, doesn't it? And Kat's kind of a nothing. Her whole story is that she used to be...
I know that voice.
It explains it a little bit later, I'll probably get there, but she thought she was crazy as a kid, as they always would, because she's a medium and she can see the demons. Eventually she realised she wasn't crazy, and they really were there, but she was trapped physically and emotionally by the things around her, and then Virgil rescues her. As a result, she has a massive saviour complex for Virgil, but over the course of the games comes to fall more and more toward Dante. And all the time she's just doing it because Virgil, seemingly a kind of Griffith and Casca thing, where it's Virgil saved me, so yeah, help. So I'm going to stick by him, whatever. In the way that Casca kind of is, says if I can't be at Griffith's side, I'll be Griffith's sword. If I can't be the best, Judo's, if I can't be the best, I'll find the guy who is, and I'll do his thing. But she kind of just sticks with him because she likes him and clearly has a crush on him, if not more. In fact, I think in the like novelization of this, it mentions that they had a relationship at one point. And but that's it. It's kind of like, I like you a lot, so I'm just going to do whatever you tell me. Now I like this other guy more, so I'm going to go with him now. I mean, she has an obvious reason to fight Mundus, because he's a demon who's controlling the world. Impressive. Is that 100 enemies? I think kill 100 enemies. Most impressive. So, but yeah, she has nothing going on for a cat really. And also, she looks more like a prostitute than Lady or Trish. They just look hot. She actually looks like a drug-addicted girl being forced to sell herself. Not that that's all prostitutes, obviously, but it is a stereotype. Osiris.
Gets better and better.
Okay. So yeah, the characters don't have much, and the story generally, to be fair, doesn't give them too much room for growth, I guess, or exploration of their characters. It's all kind of run to one place, defeat enemy, run to one place. And I know that's every action game ever, not just Devil May Cry. Virgil's, but it's still the changes that are made in it and the bits of it that are handled so poorly. And there are certain scenes when there is a very obvious solution to what's happening that they just ignore for no reason. There are certain parts of the story where it looks like if you added a single scene to a certain point, the entire game would make sense. In fact, worse than that, there's points where you think if you added a single scene from the other games, it would make sense. If you added a single scene from anything remotely like this, it would make sense. And that would be some kind of explanation to Virgil's kind of change toward the end. And when I say toward the end, I mean in the very end. The very, very end.
Cool.
I'm not just complaining about this game though. I still can't get over that. Right. So, I'm not just complaining about it, I do like it a lot. For other reasons than the story or the characters. The game's core mechanic that we've now seen is hold R2 for demon weapon, hold L2 for angel weapon, leave it for standard weapon, which is always rebellion. And so you can switch between the three quite easily, and you do get more of each. You have a simple combo for each of them, which is usually hit, hit, pause, and then do the rest of the combo, or just combo. One of the interesting things that they added is you can do the third. For example, if I do R2, 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 or I can do R2, 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 pause, and then bigger slam. I can also do normal, normal, pause, R2, bigger slam. It kind of has a memory in it that remembers where in the combo you are, that you can switch to the next lot, which is really fun. And you can mix it up a bit with that. You also, all the weapons have a unique thing about them, like Osiris, as you land hits, it's sort of explained in the last one, it starts to charge up, and when it's at max charge it does more damage, and then you lose the charge if you stop using it or take a hit. Arbiter is just a big heavy axe, and Rebellion's pretty much quite similar as it was. It feels kind of the way it used to. It doesn't look the same. It's a lot lighter, a lot thinner. I don't know why either.
A blue rose.
Blue rose being the gun that Nero has. I think the thing they were going for in this was his mother in the painting has bright red hair.
How did you understand what's at stake?
So a red queen and a blue rose. The like subtle. See, when it's subtle like that, when it's a reference to something that, if you know DmC4, you know Nero, you know his weapons, you'll get that and you kind of pick up on it. And if not, fine. It doesn't make any difference. It's just a thing. When it's just writing on the wall, it's annoying. Things like that are fun. There's some the nudges toward the old game, things like that. But the achievement thing that pops up every time you put a point in any skill called power, give me more power, because that's Virgil's line in the old Devil May Cry. That's really annoying. Oh, I didn't have time to do it. There we go. Hadn't unlocked the ability when I jumped off, but I got away with it. Also, I'm planning to play the whole of this game on the stream. Probably not all tonight, obviously, but...
Nice.
Although, if it was a weekend, I probably could. It's not that long. But after I finish it, I might even do the Dante Virgil's Downfall, which is even far worse than this. But, you know, sorry, I've never actually finished it all the way through. I know what it is, and I'm supposed to go that way. I hate these kind of sections. Every action game has them. It's just kind of run across an area that isn't challenging to cross. It's just usually just press jump button over and over again. Brutal. Like, all I'm doing is pressing a button one after the other. Like, there's no jumping, there's no timing, there's no placement. For all that people complain about this game, a lot of the problems with it are things that are not even necessarily a problem.
What am I unleashing?
They're just things about games in this genre, this part of the world, in media in this part of the world, that just exist because people like them. By that I mean things like that traversal stuff where it's not just, all action games have them. It's not a design fault of this game, that's how you make an action game in America in 2010 or 2019. And maybe I'm biased towards Japanese stuff because I love anime and Japanese games more. But it seems like a lot of the story problems with this are things that are common in a lot of American movies. More so than Japanese ones. You see, like the character stereotypes that they use here, the old Dante and Virgil are cowboy and samurai. That's the look that they're going for. The kind of movement, the dialogue, everything kind of fits that. The clothing, especially the weapons. In this they go punk and prep. I guess you'd say prep in America, prep school. I much prefer the Japanese stereotypes than I do American stereotypes and character archetypes, I guess I should call them.
I remember.
The story stuff about rebellion against. Japan has that as well. They have their own version, which is also kind of annoying. Oh, look how stupid! Look how goofy. Also there, look who's helping who up off the ground having lost. Also, I might be wrong, but I seem to have lost all audio full stop from this now. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not. I hope you can. Oh, and now he remembers. Look at angry child Dante. He watched Mundus rip his mother's heart out as these angels cry. I will never forget what he did. You literally did forget until this very moment. This is the moment. This scene is you remembering. What do you mean you'll never forget? Also, Sparda, the legendary demon, as bald middle-aged man in shorts, is very, very sad. because they bring it this whole aspect of angel and demon as opposed to demon and human from the original, where the legendary demon Sparta, who learned to love a human, that's what gave him the power. They swapped it out for angel and demon, which is a forbidden, like a star-crossed lovers story. And again, fine. Quite similar to Diablo that came out at the time. I understand, not at the time, but shortly before or after this. It was around the time of the Nephilim, the half angel, half demon. That's the strength of both and the weakness of neither, which is a quote from Underworld, which is the same story but with vampires and werewolves, and a very common one. Again, common storyline in this type of genre. But they don't really do anything with it. There's an awful lot that they change these aspects of the story, but then
I'm getting out of here.
But then most of the rest is just borrowed from the old games, and a lot of it doesn't make sense anymore in this context. Which is what I mean about being a little bit half-assed with the story. Dante and... Oh, I forgot I'm in the big dramatic ending scene. Is there anything on that? Where did you go now? Where Dante and Virgil are half demon, half angel, and so stronger than both. They are the Nephilim. Yet, you get a devil trigger. You don't get an angel trigger. Why do you only get a devil trigger? Because that was what the old games had. Not because there's any kind of story or lore behind it. Because that's what the old games had.
I've been looking for you for a long time now.
All the way through, all the enemies you hear, and in fact Virgil at times as well, refers to them as the sons of Sparta.
I think she knew that.
But in this, Sparta's not particularly prominent. He was Mundus's blood brother, who helped Mundus rise to power, and then went with an angel, which is forbidden, and that's why Mundus hunted him down. There he is, big demon hero, Sparta. That scene's so pathetic. I hate that scene. If they hadn't had that in as well, it would have been better. If they just said a fate worse than death, that would be fine. But it's because stupid. Anyway, yeah, he was Mundus's brother, helped him rise to power, married Ava, the angel, and then for that betrayal, which I'm presuming it never explicitly says it, was that union was forbidden because they would give birth to the Nephilim, which were a threat to both. That seems the logical step for me. I couldn't get half of them. But it never explicitly says that. And everybody, all the enemies and things, just say you're the sons of Sparta, when that shouldn't mean almost anything. Now, presumably you knew it because you're a threat to Mundus and he said, we gotta get them guys. But it doesn't make sense anymore. It doesn't make sense. I'm gonna get Shredder. What's Cleaver? Oh, that's the second combo. That's fine. Yeah, we'll upgrade those. And I was going to change the... Oh! There are different looks to... Okay, we'll go gold. Okay, let's go gold for things. Right. This time we got classic. Let's go with Dark Dante for the next mission. You get kind of angel lift. I think they call it angel lift, where as you jump you can do a like boost forward through the air to traverse things, but you don't get a demon equivalent. You get dodges that are the same. You get attacks that are the two types, but you only get a demon trigger and you only get an angel evade. And even then, both of the dodge things are just a dodge. The angel is a stronger dodge. The demon does more damage you can get, right? Dark Dante is just Dante with Virgil's colour scheme.
And they've always been at war.
That's really nice though, that artwork. The kind of the faux graffiti that they use is really cool.
The strongest, cruelest, Mundus.
And here we get the story behind it.
But Mundus did not rise alone. At his right hand was his most trusted lieutenant, his blood brother, Sparta. But Sparta betrayed him. He fell in love with an angel, Eva. The secret union between angel and demon was inconceivable. But it happened. And with it came new life. Twin boys. You and I. A hybrid of the warring angel and demon races. When Mundus learned of Sparta's betrayal, his fury knew no limit. He hunted the lovers down. Eva was murdered by his own hand. And for Sparta, he demanded a more brutal fate. Endless punishment and pain. But even as Eva was destroyed, and Sparta was imprisoned for eternity, each knew that the seed for their revenge had already been sown.
Also, that's another point.
Because according to legend, the only beings that can slay a demon king are Nephilim, a hybrid of angel and demon. Those hybrids now exist.
Oh yeah, look at the very deliberate wall art in the background. Oh, we couldn't avoid it because it zoomed in. But yeah, they never talk about rescuing Sparta, who's clearly still alive and being tormented.
But there were two Nephilim, and each had been hidden well. Sparta armed his sons. The rebellion for Dante. The Yamato for Virgil.
The Yamato?
So, Mundus killed our mom and imprisoned our dad.
Yes.
And here?
And we're the offspring of angels and demons.
Demon father, angel mother. We are Nephilim. The only ones that can slay the demon king.
Good. How?
See, that's the whole thing about... That's Dante's explanation of his motivation.
Being dragged into
Good.
limbo.
How?
I'll find
That's
Kat.
it.
She'll get you out. Stand firm.
Also, yes, I know Virgil the whole time is hiding the fact that he has any kind of power, because if Mundus finds out that he does, they'll come after him as well, and the whole point relies on stealth. Oh, I have a style system, do I? Really? Yeah, I get that Virgil's hiding his power because he doesn't want Mundus to find him and it's relying on spell. But I don't understand exactly how it's relying on spell, or why. The whole time, Mundus is coming after Dante. It doesn't seem to affect him an awful lot. So why would it matter if he was also after Virgil? Because surely, if anything, they can... I mean, is Virgil not aware of how strong Dante is, that nothing's going to kill him? But if that's the case, why is he so important? Surely, if Dante on his own can handle anything that Mundus throws at him, Dante and Virgil together could handle anything that Mundus throws at him. I assume it's the whole Hellgate plan, but it would help if he had evaluated on that now and not earlier. Because even if it isn't, which it may not be, it does make it seem like the entire reason why he never evaluated on his plan was because so when you hear it you'll be shocked. When really all Virgil had to do was explain anything that he was going to do or why, and half the problems in the plot could have been avoided. But we'll get there, eventually. Right now, we were being spoken to by Virgil and we got dragged into limbo, so now we're looking for Kat to break us out. And Kat seems to be right over there. But it's a shame they don't really do anything with the Angel and Demon side, because if it could have been an interesting. They'd had to build a lot more mechanics into the game, but they could have had like a demon trigger and a devil trigger, and an angel trigger, and then when you've got both, you get at some point right near the end of the game, probably at a crucial moment, Nephilim trigger or whatever that's stronger than anything, and where you have, and that gives you effectively multiple devil triggers to play with and experiment with in different ways. Because the devil trigger in this game is awful as well. It's just a time stop that throws everyone up in the air. It's really boring by comparison. It should give you get different move sets in the other Devil May Cry when you're in Devil Trigger. In fact, in DmC 5, you have multiple versions of your Devil Trigger, all of which have completely different moveset. In this game, it's just do everything you could do, except now the enemies can't fight back. Or maybe make that weaker, give it an angel trigger. I mean, even if it was something as simple as your angel weapons are boosted when in angel trigger mode, and your devil weapons are boosted in devil trigger mode, that would have been fine too. I get agree though. Yeah, even if it was just one boosts one weapon, one boosts another, and each gives you an extra ability, like say imagine you get trick. Imagine you get the ability to trick when you're in angel mode, and you get the ability to, I don't even know, something else in devil. And so then you can pick and choose, and if when you go into angel trigger mode, you fight like an angel, and when you're in devil trigger, you fight like a devil. And so you can pick them for either situation, and then right in the climactic moment of the story, when you need to, you go into Nephilim mode and can use everything, and everything's boosted by even more. And then you fight Mundus one-on-one in super powerful mode or something. But no, it's just, we have a devil trigger mode. Why? Because you had a devil trigger in the other games. Why wouldn't you just have it now? Well, it doesn't make sense that that's all you've got anymore. It also never evaluates anything on who Abel was, because it refers to kind of two warring groups. I'm assuming it's just doing the straight up Romeo and Juliet ripoff, where she's just in the kind of Capulet angels, but doesn't actually do anything. But surely some of the angels are able to fight if they're at war with the demons, so why wasn't Ava some kind of warrior? Did the Nephilim exist before? What did the Nephilim do? They're extinct now. What happened to them if they're stronger than both angel and demon? Were they just not enough? Can we have some history? Some kind of answering, or at least pausing of these questions? No, we don't get any of it. It's just a retelling of the original game, where they add in a huge different aspect to the lore with the introduction of angels, but that doesn't actually do anything in the story. And that's kind of my big regret on this game. Isn't that it's not as good as the other ones, because I think it's unfair to compare this game to the original Devil May Cry trilogy, because Ninja Theory had never made a quote-unquote character action game before this. And it's a very good one. And you're comparing it to the guys who literally invented character action game and had made them for a decade before this came out, and had perfected it, virtually, at least with Bayonetta. So I don't think you can fairly compare them. I think you're probably closer comparing this to something like God of War than you are to the other Devil May Cries. which you can't because this is a Devil May Cry. You have to compare it to Devil May Cry because it is Devil May Cry. It's a sequel, not a different game. But still, I really thought I'd missed that. It's another annoying thing is sometimes when you're moving, the camera just does this for no reason. I'm walking this way. Oh, camera. Or I'm running along. I'm going to do my jump. Oh, camera over there, and it just makes you jump in a completely different direction. I don't really know why either.
Getting the hang of this.
Yeah, you are. But yeah, my feeling more is that it's not that it didn't live up to its predecessors, it's that it was a missed opportunity to do things that they didn't, and to separate itself from them, to get away from some of that. I don't know what I thought was going to happen when I thought maybe there was a thing I could climb toward. There doesn't seem to be anything, so... Yeah, my overall thought is that it's unfairly compared, but it's their own fault, because it is called Devil May Cry, it is a Devil May Cry game, you have to compare it to Devil May Cry. But it makes a lot of changes, and all of them are bad. Not all of them are bad, but you know what I mean, like... Most of the good things about this game are things that they borrowed or adapted from the previous games, and the bad things are the things that they tried to change about the original games. Had they added a bunch of new in-universe rules and history and characters, that would have been... It would still probably have not been as good as the other games, because for the reasons I just said. But it would have been just as good a game in a different way. And as a result, it's kind of a pale imitation of what Devil May Cry is, rather than a different kind of Devil May Cry, which is what it should have been. There's also a really weird thing about this game that Dante occasionally, just when he's fighting, just starts yelling for no reason. Just starts going rawr, arr, arr, while certain weapons are in use. You can hear him doing it while this is out. I also don't want to complain too much about this game's gameplay in terms of the enemies, because the design, because I like the Greek name thing that I mentioned. I like... That's really it, annoyingly, in terms of the enemies. That's like the only thing I like. And the Drekavac, but they're not in it yet. The only thing... Kill all enemies, they only take damage from the attacks. Is that it? Now the real trick to this one is keeping the flying guys on the screen. Because another kind of slightly weird thing this game does, which other games do, if an enemy's not on screen, it doesn't exist. In that its AI will almost completely shut down and do nothing at all for the duration of the time they're not on screen. So the trick to this is keeping them on screen so that they actually throw those things at you and don't just float around doing nothing. And you can reflect them like that. Again, a trick. I don't know how to feel about it. I'd much prefer all the enemies just attack me and have good AI, in that it's balanced and they don't all just constantly shower you with attacks, and that they kind of move in patterns, than have them just attack every couple of seconds regardless of what's happening, and then just shut down if there's too many of them. And it also gives you a complete, once you figure out that that's what's happening, it gives you a complete get out of jail free card anytime you're struggling, because all you have to do is run to the corner and turn your camera away and nothing will even move at you. Which is dumb. I'd normally try and get my most, but I hate a bunch of these. I don't like, for all that I really like Stinger and Trillium Stabs, I hate the versions of them that the other weapons have. I don't like charge attacks in this game. That's Rake I don't really use. I mean, I don't have double up, so I'll go double up. And then I've got most of my core moveset. You can then just get little things like that to throw them up or kick them away. Rebellion, I've got most of the core moves except for Drive. I'm not a big fan of Drive. A lot of people do. In the other games it was better. I never really liked it, even in them, in all honesty. And this, the only thing I don't have is Flush, which is awful anyway. Osiris, I still need Raise. Yeah, again, I don't like Raise or Streak. So I guess I'm pretty much done, unless I want to upgrade the guns, but I don't. Hope we get some new weapons soon, huh? Yeah, the audio is sometimes just cutting out of the game for no reason. I don't know what's happening. I don't know if you're getting it as well. I hope not.
Silver Sachs Tower.
Okay,
The
they're
world's most
speaking again.
powerful investment bank. And who runs it? CEO Kyle
Silver
Wright.
Sachs. Silverman Sachs, huh?
The physical manifestation of
Nothing
wealth.
to do with
DmC.
Goldman Sachs.
Through debt, he controls everything. To Mundus, the world is a factory farm for human souls, and he likes to keep his animals monitored and docile. The monitoring is done by the Raptor News Corporation, a global network of CCTV cameras, satellites, and spies. The way he keeps us docile is a little more insidious.
What is it?
It's in your hand. Planet Earth's most popular soft drink, Virility. The demons have spiked it. It's okay. It has no effect on us.
I mean, that's fine.
Only humans.
You can see the mocap that they do at these scenes as well.
Phlebotomy in can.
So what's the plan?
The character movements look realistic, the facial animations look good. The kind of body language between the characters is natural. But because they do mocap everything, and it's some of the tech that they have and the way that they do it is amazing to see. It always looks really, really genuine.
I believe we can draw him out.
Okay, so to kill Mundus, we need to drag him away from the Hellgate. We do that by pissing him off.
See what I mean? Like Dante's to everything is someone explains exactly what they need to do, who they need to get, and how.
Which one do you want to do first?
Dante then has to go. Wait, hang on. Let me get this straight. And then just says the same thing back, but in stupid person language, and it's a small thing in these scenes, but becomes bigger later. I don't like time being a factor. In fact, you know what? I would get rid of that entire screen. No, I'd get rid of time and completion from that screen. I get my style points, and then I either used items and died, or I didn't. If I did, I failed. If I didn't, good for me. Let's look at some of the other skins, since we're here. Let's go Neo Dante. And let's try out the bone version of the weapons. See how we like those. When I first saw those other options, I thought it genuinely did give me other Cat and Virgil characters. It didn't. I'm kind of disappointed now. If I'm honest, I didn't even notice the different Arbiter and Osiris designs in that level. Wait, are there different versions of everything then? Virility, energy drink.
They're aware of you now, Dante, so stay low. Mundus doesn't know I exist, so I'll remain hidden until we're ready to strike.
This makes sense, right?
God knows the virility effect. What lies beneath you. She will be your guide.
But
It'll kill you.
why is that what tips them off? Why wasn't his face known enough? I mean, yeah, I've changed my outfit, so maybe they won't mark me anymore.
Drag me into limbo.
What? How?
I also feel like Nephilim aren't explained why they're stronger in any way. I mean, I assume it's just a kind of raw power thing, like.
The camera spotted you. They must have been looking out for you.
And it's not like access to new abilities. Because one of the interesting things that would have been fun, and then, again they'd have had to do so much more with it, would be imagine if there were like this shifting between real world and limbo, right? That's most of the game. The cutscenes take place mostly in the human world, and then you go into limbo to kill demons. But all it ever explains is that the demons drag you into it. Wouldn't it have been more interesting if, for example, the only beings that can travel between Limbo and the real world were the Nephilim, for example? And that there was a whole gameplay mechanic revolved around switching between Hell, Heaven, Limbo and Earth. Or even just Hell, Heaven and Limbo, where you've got different enemies in each one, and you had the two different weapons that were strong against either. Because at the minute, it doesn't seem like being Nephilim gives us any kind of advantage other than things that attack me die when I hit them back. Which is a good power, but I don't know. There's a bunch of stuff as well. Like in Underworld, which I mentioned before, does the same thing. The guy who's the important part of it, Michael, I think he's called in the story, is a descendant of Corvana, or Corvinus, or whoever, who was the original both vampire and werewolf. So he ends up becoming the hybrid of the two species, which is then considered to be stronger than both. The reason being that it's not vulnerable to sunlight, the way that vampires are. It's not vulnerable to silver, the way that werewolves are. He can control his transformation, unlike most werewolves. And he doesn't have to feed on blood or flesh to live, unlike both. So, the reason he's stronger than both is because he has all of their physical... He has the speed of a vampire, the strength of a werewolf, and has none of either of their drawbacks. What does a Nephilim have? Because at the minute I have a devil trigger, but I don't have an angel trigger. I can use demon and angel weapons, but there's no indication at any point that other demons and angels can't, other than just assuming it myself. Because you actually get an angel weapon from Bob Barbas, so presumably either it's just because the game said so, or he had an angel weapon. And neither is a particularly good explanation.
Someone doesn't want me here.
I quite like this outfit, near Dante. I like the kind of ninja wrap thing around them.
Sent me the camera locations for this area. Best avoid them if we can. Follow me.
I wonder if these were concept art earlier. I wonder if these are like early designs for Dante. I have seen pictures of some other early designs for Dante which look atrocious. when they decided to go for a biker aesthetic rather than a punk. And they made the right choice. It's the one they ended up with was by far the best. But yeah, some of these look kind of cool. I kind of wish some of these had been the... No. You know what? No. I like them as additional costumes. I think they work better as additional costumes now I think about it. But yeah, in Underworld, it's you have the strength of both and weakness. Now, what makes Nephilim special? Because I can't control when I go into limbo or anything similar. I can use the weapons of both, which may be special, but you can clear why.
Nicely done,
Especially
girls.
since both only seem to be vulnerable to their own type. Like angel type enemies are vulnerable to angel weapons, and demon type enemies. But then again, you don't actually fight angels, there's just angel type demons, which makes no sense at all. And yeah, it looks like they came up with this really good idea and then abandoned it very early on. To just, we're going to have, it's like the entirety of the thought process between the angel and demon weapons was we need to have two types of weapons. And that was as far as their thought process ever got. One of the things I do hate is that it's a cool thing they added with Nero at the end of, after you finish DmC 5, if anybody hasn't, you unlock a new set, like, moves for Nero, because you get, spoilers, you get his devil trigger. One of the things you can do is when you hit an enemy in the air, like with your big finisher, like that last one, you then get a button where you can tap to pull them back so that they can't get away from you anymore. Which is an amazing move that they should have had in every one of these. It's because there's nothing more annoying than doing your combo perfectly, getting a lot of damage, getting halfway to their health, and then find that you can't attack them anymore because you hit them too hard and they flew away. You'll notice there's a couple of times already doing this that I've deliberately stopped before the end of a combo so that I could... I'm just going with Trinlin stabs because why not? I've deliberately stopped before the end of a combo so that I could continue to hit them. Homeless for you. What does that mean? I mean, I know what it means, but why? Why? That being said, I do like that it's angel and demon weapons rather than just a series of demon weapons. I think the angel and demon thing was a good change to have made to the series for this DLC, for this reboot. I think it improves the game a lot, and I mean, Arbiter's kind of dull because it's just a big axe. It looks like the Daedric axes in Skyrim. It looks like the kind of axe thing that you'd see on any fantasy. I'm pretty sure almost all fantasies have something similar. I can't think of anything in Final Fantasy that comes to mind, but there must be something. I'm certain of it. It looks a lot like a lot of Diablo weapons do. But Osiris is quite good. I think an angel scythe is better than a demon scythe. Mostly you only ever see like Grim Reapers that have a scythe. I like an angel having a scythe. And it functions well. It has a big wide spread on it that's useful The charging up thing is a fairly good mechanic. I wish there was more to it. I certainly like it better that it charges up with hits rather than holding it the way that Nero's Red Queen does. I wish the demon weapons had a similar mechanic, but different. I don't know what that would be. But I wish they had something.
Come on!
So I don't know if anybody's thought that, but I actually reflected his own attack back at him there by hitting him. And I do like prop and shredder in this game. It's one of the few things I like more, I think, than this one in terms of the weapons. I like prop shredder better in this than the other games. In before I go back, play the other games, and decide that prop shredder is so much better than those. For now, I like prop shredder more in these games, in this game than the others. I just wish they'd done more with all this. Like I say, Arbiter's kind of boring. I also wish it had, I said before, you have the Angel Evade and the Demon Evade. I wish there was like, one of them was a different defensive thing. Like maybe one of them, if you can have Evade, you get a Trickster dodge, so that's kind of trick, but I don't know what it would be, a block, a proper deflect. A counter stage might be fun. Simple reversal. Reach the goal within time. Okay. Sounds simple. Yeah, I mean, like, we were playing, I was playing Dark Souls with a friend of mine the other day. There's quite a lot of enemies in those games that have a counter state, where they stand kind of with their swords or whatever in the air. And if you attack them whilst they're doing that, you will automatically be countered and they do a bunch of damage to you. I kind of wish there was, like, I'd quite like a version of that, where if you press it, where you have the option to always do it, where you'll kind of, you know, the kick or the punch move, where if you're holding it, maybe you do that automatically to them, and if you get it perfect, you get a counter attack with a unique animation. That would be fun. Because it seems like your defensive option is always just jump or press dodge, and whether you're holding the Demon Evade, even though they're different weapons and different moves, it's just press dodge when the thing's coming at you. Another way that, yeah, the old games didn't have that, but that's the point. The other games didn't have anything like that. So, and now that you're not bound by the rules that Devil May Cry already established, because you're rebooting it, why not take the opportunity to do something different that the other games didn't do? And again, I know next to nothing about how you develop games or how they develop this game.
One more.
But so maybe I'm asking for things that aren't actually possible, which is probably true. Requires a key. Where would I get such a thing again?
Over here, Dante.
Okay,
Clear.
thanks, Kim.
For the time being.
I'm at full health, so I don't need to topple.
Never seen a witch use a spray can before.
That's another really fun thing. The kind of this crossover between rebellious punk kids and kind of occultism. The symbols, the demonic iconography, but then being spray painted on in a graffiti style and all that is really cool.
Okay. There you go.
Just wish they'd done more with it.
I'll find you.
I'm digging this costume, you know. It still looks dumb, because he looks dumb, but it looks less dumb than his normal costume. And a lot less goofy than his original costume. By that I mean less goofy in this game's version of it. In the original games he looks cool. I was planning on cosplaying as Dante at a comic convention we're going to called SunnyCon later this month. Couldn't get the costume. I could have got the costume, I just don't have the money. Right now. Anyway, get paid Friday though, so I'll have the money then. It's kind of weird. I never used to think about it as when I was in school and shit, but you actually do now revolve your life around particular days in the week. Always being paid what day you get paid at the end of the month really does make that's everything now. Break the last one, Dante. Oh, I know. There we go. You may have noticed I planned to cleverly use my flying up attack to break that, and then didn't need to. And just hit it accidentally. They're back. Whatever will I do? It's so annoying that it locks you in place. Sad to say it all. Trinity Smash is good. It's the most powerful attack in the game by far. Do I have enough to buy anything? That is really annoying. I'm 26 reds off. There's one here. Okay. No. I was 30. Yeah, I'm now 23 off. I couldn't believe that actually gave me 3 red, whatever it is, red orbs. It's not red orbs though, is it? Top up my health. Don't know if that counts as completion or not, don't really care. Now, another reason why I probably don't have as much vitriol toward this game as many other Devil May Cry fans is that I'm not a proper Devil May Cry fan. I didn't really start to like or play Devil May Cry until later. It wasn't until after 4 came out that I first played it. So I don't really have the background of affection for the game that most fans did, so maybe my opinion doesn't count as much. But I understand their feelings, though, that's the point. I'm not like complaining about this game because it's not like the other games, but nor am I blaming people for wanting it to be like the old games, because if you really like Devil May Cry and someone tells you there's a Devil May Cry game coming out, you want that game to be like Devil May Cry. There's nothing wrong with that, that's such. I think the natural response to hearing that a Devil May Cry game's coming out. But at the same time, I'm taking the game more at face value than a lot of them are, which is also wrong on my part, by the way, because this game cannot just be taken at face value, as any game can be, because its marketing is as much a part of the response to it as anything else. And I do feel like, yes, this game is easier than the other games. Yes, the style. Also, another point I should really point out. But one of the reasons why my criticisms of it here are perhaps less than most. I tried to go for an extra kill right there. I should have tried to do it perfect. Another of my criticisms is I played the original when it came out. I eventually got it on PS3 through PS Plus. If you remember when you had PS Plus games on PS3, which have now been cancelled, but you used to get them on PS3 too. I got it around Christmas of the year it came out on PS Plus, which tells you, might have been the year after actually, might have been, but it was around. None of the patches had been on, is the point. I played the original game with its busted as fuck style meter, its awful devil-livered, overpowered shit, with the horrible coloured enemies that would only take damage from their own types, and that any other attack would just bounce off. And it was kind of annoying, and it was really in fact, it was more than annoying. It ruined large sections of the game. That there were these endemic problems. What I'm playing at the minute is the definitive edition, which fixed a huge amount of those problems.
Remember his face, people. If you see him, inform the police.
Partially by taking mods that the PC version had and just putting them into the game.
And is a known sexual deviant.
Sexual deviant.
This is Bob Box, just doing God's will.
See, I want to know what the truth behind that is, because they didn't like. Maybe it's meant to be a parody of anybody they don't like just is a sexual deviant and shit and all that, but I feel like there are things that Dante actually did in universe that those are based on that we never got to see or hear about. I'll take a B. B's not so bad. And 2 upgrade points. What will we put the upgrade points into, I wonder? I don't actually like them, the evades. I like just dodging normally and fighting normally. I know they're better, but I don't want them. Since we're coming up to bosses, we should definitely get Trinity Smash too. And I guess just a longer stinger. Not a lot of moves, as you may have noticed. I repeat them a lot. Some of them, well, you have to repeat them a lot because there are a lot of them. Yeah. But not a lot for your core moveset. Maybe I should use guns more. They're awful though. I hate them. I hate charge shot. Maybe I should just upgrade the shots. It just increases the damage. I might get them at some point to show them off, but I didn't change costume. Fuck. Next one. Going well though. I've gotten through 3 or 4 stages. I don't remember how many. I think 4. Fought 1 boss. Another thing Devil May Cry 5 added really well. Boss at the end of every level. This one has one every 3 or 4. This seems super quiet to me. I don't know about you guys. Psychotropic? Is that real word? Probably.
How do people actually fall for this crap?
You were drinking it through the entire beginning of the game, Dante. He literally was drinking it in the cutscene before this.
Yeah. They tried telling me I was a basket case too.
Wanted me to be on drugs. It would make me better. They lied. They just wanted to keep me weak.
See, we get a little bit of backstory, but not a lot.
How did you figure it all out?
Virgil pulled me out of my nightmare.
You're supposed to trust most. They ought to be.
See, I'm just getting no audio at all. That looks awful. Look at it. He mentions that a few times as well, that I knew in my heart I was see if I was still human. You were never human. He's not human. I know at the time he probably thought he was, but that, when you cut open your own chest and touch your own heart, and then you just recover, surely you ring. Maybe I'm not. And now it's suddenly gone out. See, this is what I mean. Like, when you've got angel, demon, limbo, and then human worlds, having multiple different paths through the same areas, depending what version of the world you're in, would be a really fun mechanic. Especially when you get different ways to traverse the demon ones with different weapons, and different ones to traverse the angel ones with angel weapons. And then limbo could be like, it would turn up.
You said you've been here before.
Yes, but it was during an out-of-body experience.
I also can't do any controls.
Flying around in spirit
as well.
Yeah, in limbo. Virgil says it could be an effective intelligence gathering tool, but I can't do it at will.
So, how did you do it before?
It was triggered by extreme psychosomatic trauma. The nightmares.
What are the nightmares?
It's in the past now.
Okay. Do we ever evaluate on that? I don't think we do. I'd like to know more, but not allowed. Wow, this got really dull when I couldn't move properly anymore. But I have to look right, because this whole area, there's like a path here. It just goes, it's just a circle. What is the point? Am I gonna like turn around? Is that what it does? I don't remember. Does it turn around and put me through limbo through all those areas? No, it's just rooms.
This is where they store the merchandise ready for export.
And now it's super quiet again. Why?
It's funny.
Is it just the FMVs that are quiet?
What?
I expected it to be bigger. A lot bigger. But then, I was just a child when I was here.
Her face looks really weird as well. I hadn't noticed that before.
Escaping my nightmares.
Dante looks weak, a little bit goofy.
You came to Limbo to escape your nightmares.
Yes.
See, things like that are okay. Like Dante's like, well, she's weird. I can't move still. Why can't I?
Once you're in limbo, all you have to do is retrace your steps back to the mixing room.
Should be easy enough.
Maybe, but the demons may sense you once you're in limbo, so stay alert.
And once I've reached the mixing room,
You'll be able to descend deep down into the factory.
and kill me a succubus.
And now it's loud again.
Okay, it's here.
All right, see you on the other side.
I don't know if that scene was meant to be like a... Probably not. Now it's really loud. Wow. That scene when you got to look at Kat as she was crawling from behind her.
Dante? Down here.
Now it's super quiet.
You're right. It's a lot bigger here in Limbo. What
But
next?
it's a thing that they do in anime a lot, especially. Sometimes in American films they do it a little bit, but it's a lot more blatant and overt in American stuff. Where you get a shot of one of the female characters just doing something really innocuous, but from that kind of... Alright. Guess not down that way, huh? Poison, consume, stupidity, obesity. You get a shot of a female character doing something really innocuous, but in that kind of way that makes her look, that you get to look at her like that. I like that it does that. I think the purpose of it, obviously, it's fan service to show like the character's sexy. You see the character the way that your characters are, that the character in the show is seeing them. That kind of the physical attraction to them kind of comes through from the character to you, the viewer. Is this just two paths up to the exact same? There's a thing over there. Can I go over there? Where am I? Where even am I? Can I not go to that? Is that another thing? Is this where I'm supposed to go and then I can turn around and do it? Where does this bring me? Oh. Well, I should probably go back down and make sure there weren't more of those in other places now. Yeah, let's go anyway. But yeah, it lets you see the characters, usually the female ones, but also the male ones sometimes. The way that the other characters, at least the main characters, are seeing them. You're looking at them as an object of sexual attraction. Because it's usually, sometimes it's subtle, sometimes it's less so, but where you get to look at them from a particular angle. This isn't just a different way to the same place, is it? This is a different.
What took you so long?
Well, that's one way to kill him, I guess. Yeah. You look at them in a way that makes them seem attractive. And the reason is sometimes just fan service, sometimes just to... What is the point of that? Yeah, sometimes just to, like, I guess... Oh. Well, I guess that's what I was supposed to do, huh? I think a lot of the reason why it works...
Hey, could you point me to the mixing room?
But here's the thing. In American things, when you do it, the result is that you feel very little towards those female characters. In American things, it means that you, it doesn't do anything except just make you go, ooh, look, that actress who's playing her is kind of attractive. In anime, you get people being significantly more devoted to the characters. I don't know if that's just because of the kind of fans that it gets, but... Really? Couldn't do anything about that because it couldn't. Guess I'll just take half the advance bar with that one. And again. There we go. Yeah, in anime you seem to get a lot more devoted a fan base to the sexy female characters, whether it's just because the audience is teenagers, so they're going to respond to that more. Personally, I think having a sexual side to the characters humanises them. That's my thoughts. Can I actually... No, it's a nothing. Okay. Yeah, I think you feel more towards those characters because they seem more human because they're sexy. I think a character without a sexual side isn't a complete character because humans have those. American things seem to play it down a lot. Japanese things are a lot more comfortable kind of just going with it. Oh, so that's how you get here. And whenever a game or a movie or anything tells me that something like what they supposedly said, because I don't know if they actually said it, about the cat not just being a prostitute with guns like in the others, my first thought is, then she's boring. She's a nothing. She's a person she's there because they had to have a character like that, not because she actually means anything or is based on anything or contributes an awful lot. And yeah, the characters do need her at times for things in the game that they do. But I never feel like the game would lose an awful lot if she was gone. Unlike the original Devil May Cry's, particularly Devil May Cry 3, where that game would still be good, but would be half as interesting if Lady wasn't in it, or if Lady was somebody else. I'll take damage from Demon, I'd say. Would be a more interesting challenge if I had more than one demon weapon. But hey. Whatever. Die. And I got an upgrade out of it, so... I've done 5 of the 10 secret missions, did that it? No, there must be more than 10 in the game. I know there's more than 10, I've already had like... I've missed a bunch and I've got 5, so no. Must be levels of that challenge. But yeah, I'm not going to go on about it. Funnily enough, sexuality is something that plays very little part in this game. Or in the previous games, really. With the obvious exception of the running joke of Dante's lack of sexuality in any meaningful form. You know, I'm going to get Kicker. No particular reason. Just because I keep getting the opportunity to do it and then not doing it. You've seen sometimes of like, when I demon pull them toward me, I then press and just shoot them for seemingly no reason. It's just because I instinctively do Kicker, so I'm going to do that from now on, if I get a chance, which I won't. Because now that I've bought it, I'm never going to get the opportunity to use it, obviously. And then okay, I can go there or I can go there. I'm going to go there. These areas just seem really empty by comparison. I don't know why. I don't know what comparison to. Not the old ones, because the old ones were more linear than this. But I don't know, they just seem kind of really empty. So what good was me coming here then? Just... Does this do? Is this good? Did I win? You know what, I'm going to pause it there. I'll quickly run to the bathroom. And here we are. So yeah, why did I come here? What was the purpose of this? Wait, what? Why would it put me here? Oh. Ah. Oh. A door I can't open. Wonderful. That was worth it. Well, I know it's there, at least. Invisible wall there, apparently. Quite easy to kill them when you use that. What the tooltip told me that I cut off, it said can't touch this, as in if the demon enemy makes his big demon ground thing, if I hold my demon weapon it won't affect me. That's all. I'm on low health. As we've already established that I can't actually get a particularly good score because I don't have enough moves or weapons. I don't mind using health items. Fuck you, Dante. Also, too much of this game's writing is just put a swear in here. It vacillates very rapidly from grungy punk stuff. That seems like the way forward. And then the demons being super serious about what they're doing. Sometimes they talk like the way that's supposed to sound old and proper, and sometimes they talk like Dante does, Where sometimes it's like, he who's wrong does must do, etc. And then sometimes it's just, fuck you, Dante. That's how you're supposed to do them, isn't it? Well,
Dead end.
not that way. Not that way, I guess.
Where the hell is that mixing room?
I think the mixing room, to get to the mixing room, I'm supposed to follow the pipes. So I'm going to go this way instead. This is what happens when you can't sprint, by the way. People do this instead. Oh, these pipes also lead this way. Cool. Brutal. And for all I was complaining before about the unoriginality, oh, I just looked at my background, the unoriginality of the enemy designs in this, which they are, almost all of them are just very, very generic demon or whatever, or just the types of everything that you get in any action game that's vaguely like it. Like you get the fat one, the normal one, the slightly bigger than normal one, the one that has a shield, the one that doesn't have a shield, etc. A lot of the enemies, the normal enemies in Old Devil May Cry were pretty good, but some of the bosses were kind of unoriginal. Like a big dog in DmC 3 called Cerberus. Requires a key, huh? Where was I supposed to get that? Maybe it was one of the doors I couldn't go in because I don't have the weapon yet. So not all of them are winners. This one, they have a succubus, which is super ugly and disgusting. Which is itself kind of original. The enemies that I can't stun and move around, I have real trouble styling because I can't get long combos on them. Because only some of my attacks are actually useful against them. 83, 3.5 for another health. Right. But that being said, actually, hang on 1 second, guys. It's a little bit better. That being said, I hate the idea of an ugly succubus. To me, a succubus is by definition a creature that's sexy and seductive and exploits all men's weakness for attractive women and uses it against them. And a succubus that isn't is just a monster. It has nothing else. To the point where calling it a succubus is kind of misleading. How do people drink that stuff?
What in the shitting hell is going on here?
See, it's just quite a lot of it is just, we have a line. What's going on here? That's not enough. What in the shitting hell is going on? Ah, perfect, perfect. Just
trouble. Give me a minute.
Be careful.
start with other faithful. Oh, two fat
Which one
ones.
of these fat asses wants to be Limbo's biggest loser?
He just did a biggest loser joke.
You've been eliminated.
See, why can't I dodge out of my own moves?
You win.
Why can't I ever dodge out of my own moves? Also, an even less fair comparison than comparing it to other Devil May Cry is I'm noticing a lot of difference between this and Nier Automata, or Automata if you're American. And that's obviously a ridiculously unfair comparison. One came out nearly a decade after the other. It's a fat joke, yeah.
Let's go get this succubus.
And they're completely different games by different developers, different companies. And I don't just mean different companies and different companies, but like companies that operate and make completely different kind of games in completely different ways. But things that Nier Automata has that this doesn't, that have become genre upgrades, one of which is the ability to that dodging or defending yourself always takes precedence over attacking, full stop, 100% of the time, because it just gives you more options. The penalty of dodging out of your own attacks is that you don't get to finish your attack. You don't have to be penalised for starting the attack in the first place, only to be attacked afterwards. That's stupid. Another one being some of the movement feels a lot. It's not slow, because I actually feel like I can move better than I thought I could in this game. I'm moving around a lot more easily than I remember. Do I want payoff? Not really. Leap is rubbish. Do I want... How do I even do these? I have to hold square and X in the air. You know what, we'll just blanket upgrade the guns to level 3. Because there's sometimes when you have to use them and it just saves you an issue. Then let's check out finally samurai weapons and DmC 1 Dante. But yeah, being able to dodge out of your attacks is a must. Having played a game where you're able to do that compared to now one that you can't is so different. So different. To the point where one of them feels really clunky and difficult to use in comparison just because of that. Obviously Nier, like I said, most unfair comparison you could ever make. The movement in Nier is unrivaled in any video game. But still, one little thing that does make an enormous difference. I said the word genre upgrade, that's the thing I heard other people say.
This tunnel will lead you to the succubus.
As a phrase, I think it makes sense.
You can only get there from Limbo. I can't
It's a
follow.
thing that when one game in that genre does, everybody else has to do as well.
It's a
Because
vial containing a spell
you
I
can't
made from
not
a
have that
variety
in
of
there.
oils.
Like, once you've played a game with it in,
You jump,
going back
I twist.
is just silly. It feels stupid.
Trust me.
And this is one of those examples where the ability to dodge out of your attacks is something you have to have in a character action game. In a Souls game, no. Because that defeats a large part of this kind of fear of having to make split-second decisions, knowing that you're committing to something. In this, I'm doing, like, attacks constantly. Almost better than that one.
Die already! I don't have time for this!
Some of them I can dodge out of as well. Shit. I'm not going to make it now, I don't think.
I don't like the sound of that. Better hurry up. Open up.
And I made it. Hey, look at that. I even got the extra thing I was looking for.
Wow. There really was an egg time. Oh, what a stink.
I did all that with no damage as well. What I was going to say before, way back, I forgot when I started saying it, but I've forgotten again. Fuck. What's wrong with me? Why can't I say this sentence? Yeah, the enemies aren't just, like, fodder. You can't just hit them once and then they'll die. They're not like nothings. Switching back to your costume in the cutscenes is silly. But I feel like they pose very little threat. There's not many enemies that actually fight you in any meaningful way. There is, there's quite a lot of, I guess, additional enemies. You see what I mean? That like they feel like they're an enemy that's designed to make the other enemies more difficult, rather than to fight you in themselves. Those being the little like cherub things, what they call bathos. The witch thing that comes later that can make others invincible and shit. But they don't actually themselves fight you themselves. They buff other enemies or they shoot you with things while you're fighting the other enemies. And the ones that do have very little to offer. Most of them have like stand there for a little while, do one attack, and then stand there for a little while again. I don't feel like learning the patterns and things is a big part of this. You just have to know the wind up. What the fuck was that? Do I actually have to hit all of these then? This is weird, like... Oh, fuck. That... No, I can't get them. I'm going to restart that. Now I know where they are. Yeah, there's not a lot of enemies that actually fight you in any meaningful way in this game. Fucking hell. I feel really stupid for some of them because I can see where it is sometimes. I can't see how I'm supposed to like drop down to them quickly enough to get them. I'm not going to do it now, am I? Damn it, if I hadn't died, I'd have done that. Let's do it again. Yeah, not a lot of enemies that actually fight you. Most of them just have an attack. The only one, and that's including the bosses by the way, that's just a big attack followed by a slightly less big attack followed by an area effect that you have a way to dodge. The Drekavac is the reason I like it so much. It's the only enemy in the game that does actually fight you. Maybe this is where it wants me to go. Yeah, definitely this is where it wants me to go. Yeah, I got this one now. Wait, I've missed one. Fuck off. Got this comfortably now. Did it. Simple. There was way more space there than I thought there was. Way more time, sorry, than I thought there was going to be. But hey, pick it up. And it's kind of disappointing because I say there's no training dummy. Almost every enemy feels like a training dummy. You only ever get hit by enemies that are just in camera, or enemies that attack you while you're in the middle of one of your moves that you can't dodge out of.
Smells of sick.
That's if you know of the rough pattern that they do, and make any attempt at all to defend yourself. Which you can play this whole game without doing that, to be fair.
So you must be the secret ingredient.
It looks even goofier than his normal Definitely Cry suit.
Your prom date, you ugly sack of shit.
I feel like she was supposed to zoom in and shout, "Who are you?" in my face. Ah, there she is. She can't even puke properly. She has to put her finger in. See, I feel there should be more to who Eva was.
Dante the demon killer. Has a nice ring to it, don't you think?
want to kill me? You can't kill me. I'm 1,200 years old.
You don't look a day over 12,000.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Why fuck you, fuck you, fuck you? Hey. Okay. No. What?
Succubus! Suck on this.
Fairly obvious joke, but hey.
Shit! I can't reach it.
Oh no. Guess I'll have to do something else to get to it. Am I crazy, or did she used to have a breath attack that covered the whole area? Okay. You could tell because time slowed down I was supposed to dodge right. Look at the damage on that. I forgot I was doing one of my own attacks I couldn't dodge out of. And again.
Oh really? Somehow I doubt that. Shit! I can't reach it.
Same voice, but pretty sure. Stop child. What does that mean? Why is it so over the top? Supposed to pull it.
You're done.
Also, I understand why they do it. It's not necessary. Set piece fights are fine. Kind of cinematic battles are good. I feel like this. I mean, there's parts of this where you're kind of fighting it, but the bits where you're beating her like this, you're just kind of watching it happen rather than doing it. There are moments like that in the originals. There are moments like that in lots of games, in fact. I feel like the Japanese series does it better, in that there are moments where they feel dramatic like this. but it's actually not. It's just like the scene around you is exploring all your stuff. Like in DmC 5, the first boss fight that you do involves you fighting on a church roof, falling through the roof, and breaking out the side and fighting in a park area. It feels so much more dramatic when the stage changes than any of this does. The fight never stops. There's never a press this button to watch a cutscene while we change. You're always in control. You're always fighting. There's the big dumb Hulk hand shit that we need. I have to go back to all the missions now to use that. They look so dumb. Look at it. They're both fully clothed. She's in a dress that we can see is still on. PG sex scene. Sorry, 12A sex scene.
My succubus is dead.
Oh,
Sparta.
the traitor, what of him?
His spawn. The Nephilim. It fights.
What did you think was going to happen, Mundus? I thought the whole reason that the Nephilim were bad was because they were guaranteed to defeat you. How was this a shock or a moment? Eric's. Charged. Oh, that looks awful. We'll get the slam. I hate that. Sound's gone again. Sound is completely gone. Just noticed that. Let's start upgrading the moves I actually use. I use that one a lot. I don't feel the need to get any of these moves. I'll get health cost at some point. Stick with the DmC 1 outfit for now.
Yeah, we'll meet you there. See you soon, Virgil.
You guys seem tight. How'd you meet?
I think it's her eyes. They look too big.
I'd like to know.
Well, not too big, but like disjointed.
He's my brother. He's trying to save the world. What's your story? Listen, I never asked for your help, but you gave it, and I appreciate it.
There are moments like this when he seems actually genuine. When it seems like there's a person to him.
He rescued me.
But at the same time, he's just saying it to get Kat to tell him.
My foster father was a demon. He attacked me most nights. I had to get out.
So that's implying that she's sexually abused as well.
It's okay. I felt nothing. I couldn't physically escape, so I found another way. I aimlessly wandered limbo in spirit form. Found Virgil there. He heard my cry for help.
Why was Virgil in limbo?
To deal with the demons. Both figuratively and literally. I killed the bastard.
How?
Now I want to deal with them all. You're gonna stick with us to the end, right?
What kind of demon? Was he just like the Stygian that we're fighting, or was it something else? Does that happen a lot? Are there lots of demons doing horrible shit all over the world? Because there's no indication that that's the case. Most people look normal. So you get little tidbits that it looks to try and fluff it out, but it's never nearly enough.
Now to land the second blow. Disable Mundus' monitoring network. Raptor News Tower. Controlled by Mundus, they have a monopoly over the world's media. News, Advertising, entertainment,
Mind control.
yeah, and surveillance. They spy
This
on
looks better with
topics,
Dante with white hair.
satellites, routers,
Not even the
CCTV
jacket,
cameras.
just
Yeah, I noticed that.
they look like
What's the
brothers.
plan?
Cat?
The Raptor News Network is run by a demon. Bob
That's the
Barber.
weird thing.
Bob Barbers is a demon? So he's more than just a fucking dick. And he's in that tower.
Not that tower. That one.
That's another really cool aesthetic.
In Limbo, that's not a reflection. That's the real deal.
The subtitles also don't quite match up with what he says.
And Barbus
It doesn't
rules
matter.
it.
It means the same thing.
There's no mercy and no escape.
Go to the gateway. You'll have to go alone this time. Cat can't follow where you're headed.
Alone is fine. She's done enough.
On the plus side, won't be any cameras down there.
Good.
Dante, we don't know much about this demon.
I'm sure it'll be lovely.
Yeah, the reflection thing's kind of interesting. Again, why wasn't there more of a mechanic in it? I know there's budget and stuff that you need to, but it doesn't have to be that much. Just like, alright, imagine all the enemies have 3 attack patterns.
Well, Bob, now I get why your point of view is so upside down.
What mode you're in depends what attack pattern they use. When you're in the demon world, the same enemy will do a demon attack. When you're in the angel world, they do an angel attack. Have some kind of like... Boom. Yeah! Like I'm playing as Will Ferrell. Boom. Yeah. A Devil May Cry starring Will Ferrell is fucking amazing. And not in a good way, but also in a really good way. Well, that was good, wasn't it? Stupid. They look awful as well. Look at them. I really don't like turrets. But yeah, all you need that mechanic. When I can switch between, say, right, L3 and R3 currently do nothing, right? I'm pressing them, they do nothing. Yeah, I know, pressing them both together is what will activate your devil trigger, once you get it, right? So imagine, imagine pushing L3 takes you into demon mode. Pushing R3 puts you into angel mode.
Smack that!
It makes me not want to use Arbiter because it leaves me more vulnerable than doing nothing. Nope. Didn't work. That said, not a particularly difficult fight either way. Now I can go back if I want, but why would I? I tried the punch thing once, it didn't work. But yeah, imagine L3 moves you to Angel, R3 moves you to Demon.
So even Limbo has a slammer.
And pushing both.
Breaking into jail.
Or holding, or pushing L3 when you have a Keeler if it move would like shift you into Angel World, into whatever you call it, Paradiso. If we're taking Bayonetta and actual Dante's Inferno terminology. Holding R2 and pushing either L3 or R3 would take you into Inferno, and one would take you in, and then pushing both together when you have nothing, as in no triggers, would put you in Purgatorio. And then you get different enemies, or at least different move sets depending where you were.
Let's give it a crack.
And different stages would require you to go to different versions of different places. And you would have different side missions hidden in each one.
Just doing God's work, are you, Bob?
Because that would be a really interesting way for the Nephilim to have a superiority over the non-Nephilim, being both demon and angel, because then they can move between worlds where nothing else can. It would also give them the ability to hit their enemies in ways that the demons and the angels can't. And that would be an interesting twist on the gameplay. And then eventually, when you finally discover your Dante's true power, if you like, and you get the Nephilim trigger, that would be holding both and pushing L3 and R3. It's the ultimate screen clear that then gives you like ridiculous power of some kind. What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that throwing me through the air thing? What? Alright. Anyway.
Okay, there's the tower. Back on track.
Really? I found a large vital star. How am I supposed to get over there then? Huh? I really don't know how to get over there, because now I have to go back the other way, right? Well, unless I go over the top of this. That wouldn't make sense though, because there is no top of this. I think I need my other angel weapon to get there anyway, so.
Whatever you are, get the hell out of here.
The least likable enemies in the whole game. In my mind. My humble opinion. Let's upgrade normal hacker. Secrets. A key. Didn't mean to do that. I just realised you don't get another gun in this game till like almost the entire game. You don't get the shotgun till third last mission, I think, or second last. Well, not second last. The second last you get the kablooey.
Poor bastards.
Oh, do you get that in the very last mission? I think you get it in the very last mission. It's really, really easy to hit S and double S in this. I don't know if that's good or bad. See, I'm quite... You can tell from a lot of my commentary on this, I'm quite indecisive about large parts of it. Sometimes I think the changes they made are really good, sometimes I think they're really bad, sometimes I think the same changes are good, and sometimes I think the same ones are bad. Why can't I pick up the two things? I wanted to smash those things.
Get lost.
Okay. Sorry, I'm being texted. Oh, look, he's being snuck up on by the thing. Rage. I feel like the rage should be the rage.
Ah, great. Here's Mummy.
As with all the angel type enemies, one way to deal with them. What? Okay. I hate them so much. They're kind of a worse... They're not even that. Because there's the red and the blue ones, right? Same as most enemies. Now I can get. They remind me of the big dog type things in Bayonetta with the like drill heads. I forget what they're called. Except of course for the two Gracious and Glorious, which were the legendary fight in that game. The most horrible. I thought I was bad at the game when I played Devil May Cry. When I played Bayonetta, when I got to that hall with Gracious and Glorious, I was doing okay up until then. I'd started to struggle in some areas because the enemies get tough, and it's not an easy game. Gracious and Glorious, I was stuck on for like a day worth of play, and I was a day off work, so near constant playing. Anytime I got to break, I would eat and then. Eat, sleep, watch a little bit of TV, and then just play Bayonetta constantly. I was on it for an entire day. Gracious and Glorious, all they do, it's the same basic dog type enemy things that are everywhere else in the game. But except they take away your ability to make them weak by time stopping. These ones, it does a similar thing where you have the dog type enemies that jump around, that move, that attack you in erratic ways, and then they make the ones that can only be hurt by angel and ones that are only hurt by demon, although in this its enemies can only be hit stunned by angel or demon. Camera. Let me drive, huh?
Going down. Smash it.
Indeed. Yeah, and then they make sometimes they're immune to your attack. This game very clearly tried to copy Gracious and Glorious in some ways. Oh, that's just awful. That's stop doing it. Okay. Secret mission. I don't remember where I got the key, but apparently I did. Kill all the enemies. Enemies only take damage from angels. Simple enough. Again, it would probably be a more interesting challenge if I had more than one angel weapon. Notice how I'm strategically keeping all the enemies that I'm not attacking off the screen, so that they can't hurt me. And I can simply combo what remains of them at my leisure. "40 seconds to go." We do it. I feel like there's one of these that's actually really difficult and the rest not so much. When do I get another health cross? And here we are. Do I have an upgrade point? I do not. I'm pretty sure after I finish this level I'll get enough, at least a level. Oh, do you look at that, a key? Yeah. I don't know if keys carry over from level to level, I don't feel like they do. That means that secret mission has to be in this level. I feel like some of Dante's coolness in those situations is lost as well by this point. He always looks to be panicking and jumping out of the way. And when he gets when he was impaling his chest earlier, he was screaming in agony. You could see him screaming. Old Dante never seemed to get hurt or panicked by anything that ever happened. He was always... Well, how many times does he get impaled clean through the chest and with just nothing? Devil May Cry 3 starts with him being impaled right off the bat. It's a flying woman, so what's it? It's a harpy. Greek monster though, so I'm happy. I'm happy with it. Give you a nice little flash. then attack. Shoot the wings off. Dodge their attack when it comes. Simple enough. Another Greek, Phineas.
Does it give me reason to?
I think he's called Phineas.
No. I'm from upstairs. Now, can you tell me how to get to that tower?
Tower? Why?
It's an interesting thing that he has half a head as well and only an eye on one side.
Will you help me?
Yes. I can help. If you help me first.
Let's hear it.
It ends on weird points in this game sometimes. That seemed a really weird cut to the end, didn't it? Maybe it's just me. B. B is fine. What do I have? Not enough for almost anything. Keys do carry over though, we can confirm this. I should probably start to get the evades. I don't use roulette. Well, not very often. I use the air attacks a fair bit. I suppose I should upgrade them. The normal attack on that I never do. Tremor I almost never do. Air flush I think I've done twice in the whole time. Drop I do occasionally. Flush I would never use even if I had it. Shredder I use a lot now. And that just means I can do it for longer. Double up. That's the same. Second one of them. Eric's. Fuck Eric's. I don't want them. You know, let's get the full Trickster evade. We'll do that. Health cost is 3.5k. I'm going to go to... I actually feel like Neo Dante is the is my favourite. I like the new look on in his main costume. I like Dark Dante's colour scheme better though. I think him having white hair is better than dark hair. And that's not just me being a fan of the old, I think it makes sense in universe that he have white hair. Like Virgil. Because his hair even goes white when he gets his devil trigger. So that's clearly a sign of his power. In fact, we'll see in a minute. I think he's called Phineas. Even points it out. You've got a tuft of white hair, so you've discovered your power. It makes sense that he and Virgil will both have fully white hair. Because that means they're both equally powerful, right? And also they just look like they're brothers again. It makes Dante look proper. See what I mean? It looks better. It just looks better. I think he looks more punk as well.
Follow them. Find their nest.
They're so boring looking enemies. I feel like he should have said that before I jumped over. No, after I jumped over.
Lead the way.
There is only one way to go. It's a narrow, linear corridor. But in universe it isn't. That's just for the game. I know.
Little bastards.
Vital Star. Yep, for that I need the other Danger way. See, this traversal is fine.
There you are.
But that's it. It's not like... Can I stand on that? I can. Is there any point to doing so? Doesn't look like it. Oh well.
Whoa!
Dante said that before it arrived. It really does sound like I'm just counting up the things that are like wrong with this game. I'm really not. I'm enjoying it. For all that I'm complaining about aspects of it, I'm really still enjoying this game. Okay. I swear it always used to just come down the middle and wasn't on either side. Oh, I see the colours, the lights, right, change. So maybe it has 3 forms. Maybe I'm just misremembering. Oh well.
Flying bastards!
I already said that, Dante.
You wanna play?
I was trying to get environmental kills. I don't know why. Clearly a key behind there. Health thing. I've taken so little damage in this, it's crazy. Sorry if I'm not talking much during the combat, I'm just kind of doing it. They used to be hard as shit as well. I remember explicitly that like my fingers would be hurting. I would be pressing it so hard and I would still get hit by them. There's no way they were that easy in the original. I might even see if I can find the undefinitive edition. Maybe on PC. And see if I can stream that by comparison and see if it actually is as different as I'm thinking. I feel like every mission I find a bunch of stuff that was definitely different from the original. I mean, they did change a lot. That's like, it's not some kind of big secret or anything, but they did overhaul a huge amount of this game. It's sad that they felt that they had to change that much. They were right, but it's sad. Moderate traversal. Let's go. Those ones are fucking stupid. See, that time I knew what to do and I only just made it. And sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's that pull one afterwards means it has to come to. Okay, just don't do it then, I guess, Dante. You all saw the thing come out as well. Look, it was clearly lit up. Moderate traversal. I died like 3 or 4 times and still did it perfectly. With 10 seconds to go. So, secret missions, not hard. Yeah, I feel like this is actually the design that they should have gone with Dante from the beginning. Maybe just more bandage, not but like, you know, cloth stuff around him. I know it doesn't look as or maybe put a similar like jacket over him, but this colour scheme is like this Dante is with the same sort of colour scheme of red and black with white hair. I think it looks so much better than the design that they went with. Yeah, it's not as different. Capcom told them to change it. I can't keep learning it. But oh, there's more of them. For some reason it changed target. Whatever.
The nest. That's gotta be it. Why am I doing this for a crusty old demon? Oh yeah, that's why. Got it. You must be the eye.
See, he's stupid. He's actually a really not clever person. Kill, trap, die. I wonder if Rainstorm would trivialize this fight.
You flocking bastards. That was a cracking good fight. Now how do I get back?
That was a terrible fight, Dante. What do you mean? That's clearly the way I have to go. That's the way I... Green is... Yeah, it says way out on it, right? So this is where I have not been yet. I have enough for an upgrade and a health upgrade, so I'm happy with this level of progress. That's where I came from. That's where I'm going. What? What is it, Dante? Why did you shout crap? Have you got Tourette's? Basically may have in this game. I'm looking for which of these is open, by the way, if you're wondering what I'm doing with the camera. Wait, is this the way I came? This is in fact the way I came, so what's the other thing? Okay, it's just two. It's just another one of these. That's fine. Collectibles, whatnot. We know they impact massively on our score, so... Now we can go. This is what happens when you don't have sprints. I realise this is horrible to look at, but deal with it. Alright, none of these are any good. I know it's annoying watching me go through them all every time and try to decide what I want, but deal with it. Do I want Rainstorm or Inverse Rainstorm? Not really. It's kind of crap. Bit aerial. We'll increase aerial rev. And more importantly, health. 5k to the next upgrade. I really don't even see the point of those things appearing. They don't add anything to the game. Speaking of things that... I hate because they don't add anything of note to the game. Okay, when he starts his thing, I can parry him by using fucking Stinger. Is this the way? I hope it is. Oh, that's something. Might be the way. Yeah, I'm going to upgrade that next time. I think against those enemies, when I can get them one-on-one, I can actually do half their health just by doing Crop Shredder. And now I get the key that I couldn't get before. How nice. Don't know where the doors are, though. I think one of them was the one I found earlier, obviously, but... No, I found both ones in this area. I think there's only two in this. Okay, I only found one. My memory's appalling. See, are they even an enemy? You know what, I'm going to revise my earlier comment. They are just fodder. They didn't even attack me. I just hit them and hit them and hit them and I... Every time I expect it to be something different. I don't know what I expect it to be, but I expect it to be something different. Those things are just pitiful. Yeah, I feel like most of the combat in this game is based around, here's a bunch of moves you can do. Here's a bunch of enemies that can stop you from doing those moves. Make sure you use the right ones on the right thing. I think I can get in there without a healer, but it's going to be really difficult and really long-winded. I can. Haha. Alright. Secret mission number 2 in this area. Don't remember what this is. Kill all enemies within the time limit. Enemies in Dante die in one hit. Damn it. Can't dodge out of demon attacks, and you have to use demon attacks in order to get them, guys. Okay, I found the strat for this. Damn it. But I found the strat for this. What hit me? What hit me? Yeah, simple. Jump up in the air so you're invulnerable to anything except the little guys. Pull them once to get rid of the shield, pull them. The other way I was thinking of doing it, if I failed that time, was trickster dodging through the middle of them, then coming back with a keeler and just swinging and hitting a lot of them. But yeah, the bullshit way works just as well, so just use the bullshit. I think this is the way I'm supposed to go. Alright.
Who's there?
Phineas, yes. Got his eye.
You have it? Have you?
again, they play with this idea of perception changing things in the world. Why it wasn't more of a gameplay mechanic, I don't know. Again, I feel far too much of the game was just taken from the old ones, and they should have tried to do... Because when you take the IP, you always take aspects of it, of the other games with you. It has to be in the same genre, usually. Few exceptions, obviously, things like Persona, Dancing All Night, and that go in a different direction.
I can see that.
And that obviously aren't just like a reboot of the game, they're like a side thing, but you can do that. If you take it in the same genre, you tend to inherit a lot of the kind of cliches and linguistical things, the story aspects, the character aspects. And you have to take some of them, obviously. You still have to have Dante fighting demons and his brother being Virgil and twins and, you know, super powerful guy, etc. I feel like they should have gone and just tried to make it as unique as they could. And it feels like a halfway point between... I got 100% completion. Really? That was pretty good. I'm amazed with that. But only a B. And 2 upgrade points with it. So I'm just going to put these upgrades in, and then I think I'm going to call it there. Because it's getting pretty late and I should be going to bed because I've got work in the morning. But this was fun. I'm definitely going to finish it. I'm going to come back and do more on stream also, obviously. And if it's shredded, didn't I? I wanted a longer shredder. Yeah, I'm definitely going to do more of it. I'm going to finish this game and then hope... I mean, we've been here 3 3/4 hours now. I got through... Yeah, I was on Devil Hunter. I got through 9 of the... What is it, 20 missions? Of which at least 3 are just a boss fight. So... I'm actually doing okay there as well, B's and C's mostly, but with very little completion on most of them. 2 obvious exceptions. In fact, Devil Inside is just that's just getting your power off the Nephilim thing, isn't it? There's not even much game in that. There's not even much to play in that way. But yeah. Around 3 3/4 hours, I'm probably about halfway through the game. In the next time I'm gonna go back through with, now that when I'm going to do the next mission and get Aquila, and then I'm going to go back and I'm going to get all the stuff that I missed, the side missions and things, and then we'll get on with the game. Probably finish it in another stream or 2, and then after I finish the main game I'm going to do Virgil's Downfall as well, because that's going to be fun. Never done it all the way through, seen it, not played it. I want to know if it's really as bad as it looks. Even compared to this, it's awful, apparently, but let's go with that. Just look at these are the other difficulties you can get later on. It doesn't tell you on the main menu when you pick them, but pick just for here for some reason. Son of Sparta, different enemies and much stronger. Super difficult. Enemy stone with devil trigger active. Items can't be used. Beat the game on Dante must die to unlock it. Heaven or Hell. Enemies die in 1 hit and so do you. Same as in that mission we just did. And then Hell and Hell, where enemies have normal health but you die in 1. I will not be going through on those. I'll probably look when I finish the game. I might have a look at Bloody Palace as well, but see how I feel about that. But for now, guys, that's it. Thanks a lot.